So Paul Bates here, and today I really want to talk about, get back into the buying your trawler series here and talk about, does size matter? So we've talked about a lot of different subjects here. I'll link the video for the smell of diesel right here. We've already learned that. So today though, let's talk about size. Does size matter? And because on the loop here, I've had a 35-foot boat and I've had a 44-foot boat, so almost 10-foot bigger boat. So remember this, there's a couple things, key points to remember here. If you've never owned a boat before, obviously smaller, maneuverability, everything's easier on that smaller boat. The bigger you get, the harder the boat is to maneuver. On the 44-footer, we're talking a 40,000-pound boat versus a 20,000-pound boat, and it's twice the weight. And it doesn't seem like it's only 10 feet longer. How can it be twice the weight? But it is. As boats get bigger, they get bigger very fast, so every foot matters. When you go a foot in width and a foot in length, it's huge on a boat. It really is. So, and then I think another thing you got to really determine to yourself is this strictly a loop boat? If it's a loop boat and that's all you're doing with it, I personally would go with the smallest loop boat that I could do. And there's a lot of reasons for that. When you pull into the marinas, getting space, getting dockage, the smaller boats there's usually always room for a smaller boat. You get in that 35-foot range like I was with Loop Princess. I never had an issue getting into any marinas. This bigger boat, yeah, I've had, can't take me. My draft is too deep. I'm too tall, everything. I've had every issue come up on this bigger boat of why I can't come into their marina. So, it's just something to think about. Now, let's back up here a little bit. Now, also on size here, I'm pushing 40,000 pounds through water versus 20,000 pounds through the water. And so, it cost a lot more money. It's, Loop Princess got almost 3 miles, about 2.7 miles to the gallon. This bigger boat here only gets 2 miles to the gallon, and this is a what I call a go slow trawler. Fuel costs went up going to the bigger boat. So there's a lot of disadvantages to go into that bigger boat, but why did I go to the bigger boat? Why did I myself choose to go to a bigger boat? Well, because we're going to live aboard for the next 5 years. And Loop Princess, though she was a very well laid out 35-foot boat, you can't get any more boat out of a sun deck. You just can't. They're great boats for space inside of them, and they're definitely roomy inside there because they utilize every square foot of space is you're inside the boat. So that whole 35 feet. Yeah, so cost is going to cost you more. Every time you pull into a marina, the moorage fees are more for the bigger boat. I mean, and I go to the cheaper marinas, the traditional looper where money isn't as challenging. They go into the more expensive marinas. So, but if you're out here on a budget, smaller the boat, the less money you're going to spend in slip fees. Also fuel, everything. But again, because me and Bev are going to live on this boat for the next 4 to 5 years, and I want to go over to the Bahamas, this is a much better boat. Now let's talk about the disadvantages of that small boat. The advantages are huge, but the disadvantages are in heavy weather, you're going to take a beating. Even like when you're tied off at the marina, and sometimes all you can get is a side tie on the side of a dock. It happens a lot. Or even out on the mooring field or on your anchor ball, when you're out there bobbing around in the waves, 20,000-pound boat versus 40,000-pound boat, huge difference. I mean, the magnitude of difference it's huge. I don't get bounced around as much when we're on a side tie at a dock. You barely feel the ripple in the water compared to Loop Princess. Loop Princess, you felt everything. Another thing, again, is bad weather. And there's a few times we got out there in situations that weren't probably favorable, and there were some times that even some passages we made in the Great Lakes that we probably couldn't do in Loop Princess. We'd have to just wait out for better weather windows. But in the bigger boat here, you're not going to feel as much. You're just not. It's 40,000 pounds versus 20,000. It's twice the weight. So, you got to think about that. Also, the advantages to the bigger boat is, space and room and comfort for all of us. For for Daisy to get around the deck and for me to get around the deck, for me to launch the dinghy. Everything is easier on the bigger boat. It just is. We have a crane to lower the dinghy and put it in the water. Everything got much easier on me on the bigger boat. Now maneuvering is quite a transition. It really is. The smaller boat is a lot easier to maneuver, and I don't have thrusters on either one of the two boats, but the smaller boat, you know, is just a lot more agile, and I could do things with that boat that this big boat, there's nothing. If it doesn't want to turn, I can't turn it. It just won't turn, even using the engines. So I mean, I can, but it's really, really slow, and it's really, really tedious work to get it to come around, especially if I'm fighting current really, really hard. Learned that. So, you know, there is definitely advantages and disadvantages, and this video is all about just getting your mindset, you know, figuring out exactly what you need. Because, like I said, you know, Ranger, you know, one of those little Ranger tugs, awesome little boat. It's probably the second most popular boat on the loop. The first most popular boat on the loop is a 42-foot Carver. Those are absolutely by far probably the most popular boat on the loop. The second most popular is the Rangers. Those little 20, I believe they're 27-foot little Ranger. They're everywhere out in the boats. What the size doesn't matter about how much fun you have or who you're hanging out with. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But it's definitely got its advantages and disadvantages to both, and you really got to put your head around it and figure out what you want. And when you're buying your boat, you really shouldn't satisfy or be satisfied for this boat or that boat. You should be looking for the boat that you want, and the only way to know that is to go out and walk in them and, you know, learn them. Now I'm lucky enough that, you know, I've owned all three of them, which is basically a trunk trawler, a sun deck, and a Europa style. I personally like the Europas, and probably won't go back. I'll probably always stay with the Europa now. After owning all three of them, I really, really love the style of the boat. But we also have a dog, and so everything matters. And it's important for us to let her get around the decks and enjoy the boat just as much as we do. And so she enjoys this trawler much better than she did any of the other trawlers that we had. Anyway, Paul Bates, peace out. Thanks for watching. Make sure you share it with your buddies and hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. And if there's any subjects that you really want me to talk about, there is a few videos that I need to get done, and there's a couple of requests already. But and we're going live Saturday at 6 p.m. So watch that video, and if you have any questions about boat buying questions, just ask me then, and we'll answer any questions live in that video. All right. Anyway, thank you guys so much again. Appreciate it. Bye.